Me. Finally kills mouse. Everyone else at Disney World. Bigfoot sure does the good memes on land. I have to use a protected computer to get access to the internet down underwater. Leave your comments to get featured next and make sure you're subscribed. Other pilots. Low on ammunition. Time to head back. The Japanese. Gotta admit. I'm the ammunition. Unites the Mongolian tribes. Conquers the second largest and largest land empire in history. Watches it collapse after his death. Refuses to elaborate further. Nietzsche. Will you please listen? I'm not the Messiah. Edgy 16-year-old teens. He is the Messiah. When America dropped the first bomb on Japan. Alright. I had my laugh. When America dropped the second bomb. That's even funnier the second time. Fucking there mate. Japanese Unit 731 and Z Human Experiment Bioscientist War Criminals. Legal immunity. Job security. High salary. Life in USA. Take Yafkin research with ya. I fear no man. But that thing. It scares me. You have freed us. No problem. Now if you'll excuse me. I'm off to Mount Vernon to enjoy my retirement. Hannibal. Crosses the Alps to defeat the Italians. Napoleon 2000 years later. Okay. My turn. When you're not even Egyptian. Your ancestor took over the country. And you saw the end of Egyptian independence because you backed the wrong dude in a foreign civil war. But you're also the first person anybody thinks of when Egypt is mentioned. Genocide deniers. It never happened. They deserved it. Most useless THMGS of all time. Enron Code of Ethics. When you just wanted to retire to your farm. But nobody can competently run the nation you helped to create. Fine. I'll do it myself. Germany. Annexes Austria. Britain. Meh. France. Incoherent rambling. Mexico. Mental breakdown. Switzerland. We are hitting neutrality levels that shouldn't even be possible. Tlaxcaltecs. We are being oppressed by those bloody Aztecs. Hernan Cortez. I'm a fighter of the rights. I'm a freedom fighter. New monotheist gods. No, you can only marry someone of opposites. Ancient polytheist gods. If there's a hole, that's a goal. If you can't see the number then you are dehydrated, too warm, too cold, tired, still upset about the Library of Alexandria, hungry. When you support the Bolsheviks because they promise peace, land, and bread. But then they start a civil war, confiscate your grain, and collectivize the land. Those bastards lied to me. Country. Attacks Russia. Russia. Fuck you. Japanese Navy after Midway. 1942. What the hell is this? George Washington. Avoid political factions at all costs. America. Does literal opposite. George Washington. South Korea's economy during the miracle of the Han River. South Korea's government. Austria-Hungary being known for being ethnically very diverse. Czechoslovakia before 1938. Tyre makes a colony which becomes independent. Makes its own colonies and eventually outgrows the power of Tyre. 2000 years later. The UK makes a colony which becomes independent. Makes its own colonies and eventually outgrows the power of the UK. Slavery. Thomas Paine. John Adams. Benjamin Franklin. Marquis de Lafayette. French. Rich. Highly educated. From a prominent noble family. Also Lafayette. They don't know. During Exercise Sky Shield we got past their 99% effective air defenses. And nuked America twice. Crime documentaries be like. Alexander Hamilton was alive. Until he wasn't. Napoleon. Money from his Italian campaign. The French government. Modern angels. Biblical angels. The US. We get our tanks unstuck using specialized recovery vehicles. The USSR. Log time. Log time. Persian army starts marching towards Greece. Sparta. Rest of the city-states. Hitler tamed by prison. Released on parole. He is expected to return to Austria. Berlin. December 20th. Adolf Hitler, once the demigod of the reactionary extremists, was released on parole from imprisonment at Fortress Landsberg. Europe 15 years later. So that's a fucking lie. Crime documentaries be like. Louis XVI had a head. Until he didn't. Pope Formosus watching his dead body on trial. The Disney movie. The German fairy tale. The Germanic myth. US Army. Pancho Vils. Hey Catherine. Wanna hear a joke? Sure. Polish Lithuanian lands. Haha. I get it. And you nev. Wait. Genghis Khan. Realizing that one day, he'd be portrayed by a white dude from Iowa. Germany after denazification. Unmute. I'm no longer racist. Wi-Fi. Drops down by 1 bar. YouTube video quality. Ellie Whitney after inventing the cotton gin to replace slave labor in the South. I hope that doesn't come back to haunt me. Thanks for spying on the British at Yorktown and helping us win the revolution. No problem. I'm just happy to become a free man. You're going to free me. Right. The Treaty of Versailles. Why don't I have nice things? I want some nice things. American teens in the 90s. Balkan teens in the 90s. Yale University. Ella who Yale. Who funded it by money earned by slaving people from Madras, India. Nazi Germany. Nancy Wake. Belgium in European history. Belgium in African history. The best doctors come to treat George Washington when he gets a throat infection. They bleed him until he dies. War of the Austrian Succession. Maria the Sad. Diplomacy. Shitty cruise. But great buffet. George Washington after seeing political parties subvert the power of the people and usurp for themselves the reins of government. Francois Darland. If France ever signs an armistice, I'll take the French fleet and keep fighting against Germany. France signs the armistice with Germany. Francois Darland. Well, now I'm not doing it. I ousted the last guy in a coup. So I should kill all the good officers in my army. Otherwise they could oust me in a coup. Now let's start a war. Soviet forces on the lookout for the White Death. Simoheha with his rifle. Totally about to ruin their day. US. Other countries should also be democratic as well as having a fair and free elections. South American countries. Democratically elects left-wing leaders. US. Alexander Hamilton. Fuck you. Thomas Jefferson. Fuck you. Yes, I'm a Merovingian. King of France. How could you tell? The same motherfucker. Federalists. Democratic Republicans. George Washington who warned against parties in politics. Some random country. You can't just make a random day into a holiday. The British Empire. Check this out. Boss. Leader. 5th century Roman Empire. Flavius Belisarius. Point of view. You overhear people saying how backwards America is still having slavery until 1865. Turks on their genocides. It didn't happen. But hey, deserved it anyway. But it still didn't happen. Serbs on their genocides. It was fucking biblical. Mate. We are just escort carriers. We are meant to be expendable. Not to me. Charles I McGaha. Congratulations. You are being rescued. A wounded soldier 40 yards away. Charles the 50th McGaha taking him 75 yards to safety. Please do resist. When a new plague or natural disaster occurs and you need a scapegoat. European villagers. Freemasons. Immigrants. Jews. Homosexuals. Witches. Gypsies. Point of view. You're in Latin America and just democratically elected a socialist. Assuming direct control. Barbers now. Barbers during the medieval times. Divorce leads children to the worst places. Austria. Hungary. The Balkan region. Civil War. Sparta. Fuck you. Athens. No. Fuck you. Persia. Invades Greece. Brits reminiscing about the glory days of the British Empire. Portuguese. We just came here to trade spices and stuff. Native goons. Why have you brought Jesus? Japanese government when someone calls them to apologize for war crimes. The 7th of July 1937. The start of the Second Sino-Japanese War. Marquis de Lafayette. American Revolution. Marquis de Lafayette. French Revolution. I hope you enjoyed those memes. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that other that YouTubers say to do. See you next time.